that there's a continuation of this and all of these scumbags get taken down because children need to be protected.
One more time.
I can tell you that the number one problem in Hollywood was and is and always will be
Hollywood's dark side keeps getting darker. First, it was parties with mysterious guest lists. Now, it's Demi Moore's name in the spotlight.
Why is it being seen as, like, obscene?
Is she just guilty by association? Or does this story go much deeper than we thought?
I can tell you that the number one problem in Hollywood was and is and always will be
Corey Feldman's bombshell revelations have come back to light, calling out stars like Demi Moore for partying alongside the underaged. But just how far down does this Hollywood rabbit hole go?
There is Hollywood's other dirty secret that victimizes the most vulnerable, children. And someone who's spoken out about this and is painfully aware is former child star Corey Feldman.
With more celebrities than ever facing allegations, will new names surface in the disturbing world of Hollywood parties? Corey Feldman, famed child star turned whistleblower, has been vocal about the dangers young stars face in Hollywood. While he's never been to one of P. Diddy's infamous parties, Feldman's message rings loud and clear. Something sinister is happening under Hollywood's glossy surface.
And I really hope that there's a continuation of this and all of these scumbags get taken down because children need to be protected.
But that's not all. In the thick of these controversies, Demi Moore's past has also surfaced, and it's raising eyebrows.
Okay, one more time.
Why did she share a controversial kiss with a young boy on camera? And was she part of these elite Hollywood circles known for their questionable parties?
Why is it being seen as, like, obscene?
Who's truly responsible for what goes on behind Hollywood's closed doors? Let's start with Corey Feldman, an outspoken critic of Hollywood's dark underbelly. Just recently, he left a Beverly Hills salon and didn't hold back when asked about the recent allegations surrounding P. Diddy.
I think I was a little old.
Oh, no, you're not old, man. You look young.
No, I think I was a little old to be invited is my point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. No. I've never been to any of his parties. I've never met the guy. I don't know any of those people.
Feldman didn't mince words. He expressed relief that justice seems to be catching up with some of Hollywood's elite, noting he never got invited to Diddy's parties and implying an age restriction that should disturb us all. What Feldman's statement hints at is disturbing. Hollywood's exclusive parties don't just exclude outsiders. They might also be designed to include the young and vulnerable. And as Tony Busby, the attorney representing numerous accusers against Diddy, stated recently, more names will come out, and they will shock you. Among the names circulating, Demi Moore, known for her bold personality and high-profile Hollywood connections. Her kiss with a 15-year-old co-star back in the 80s has resurfaced, sparking controversy over her own boundaries.
Because I love Philip, and he's the only one I love. Because I love him dearly. He's one of my most favorite people.
She's the greatest.
In this resurfaced footage, Moore, 19 at the time, is seen kissing her 15-year-old co-star Philip Tanzini 3 times. The footage was supposedly innocent, a celebration of friendship. But today, many question if this would be viewed as innocent if their roles were reversed. So how does Moore's controversial past tie into today's revelations? Tony Busby's legal pursuit doesn't just focus on Diddy, but also promises to shine a light on enablers. The exclusive white parties hosted by Diddy, where Moore was photographed with her then-husband Ashton Kutcher, have been described as luxurious but also suspicious. Young stars, newcomers, and Hollywood elites all mingled at these events, raising the question, were there boundaries?
They would pull away the better-looking younger kids and keep them for their own after-party, and it would turn into a pool party. And then they'd have their rules. Oh, there's no swimsuits on in the pool.
Hollywood is no stranger to controversy, especially when it comes to its star-studded party scene. Demi Moore, a name that has echoed through Hollywood for decades, often finds herself at the center of conversations involving younger men. From her famous relationship with Ashton Kutcher to more recent connections, rumors hint at a potential pattern. And now, fans are beginning to wonder, could Demi Moore be linked to the same controversial Hollywood elite circles associated with stars like Diddy, where rumors of questionable dynamics have surfaced? Long before her Hollywood relationships made headlines, Demi Moore stirred controversy in 1982. At just 19 years old, Moore shared a kiss with 15-year-old actor Philip Tanzini during a public appearance on the set of General Hospital. But it wasn't just the kiss itself that raised eyebrows. It was what Moore told Tanzini.
We're gonna get married, by the way. Don't let her husband find out.
I can't wait.
While Moore and Tanzini's relationship was likely nothing more than a playful connection, fans look back on this event as an early sign of Moore's attraction to younger men. It's almost as though this interaction set a precedent that she would carry into her later Hollywood relationships. In hindsight, fans are now wondering if Moore's early interactions with Tanzini laid the groundwork for what would become her pattern of dating significantly younger men. Could it be that Hollywood's elite social scene, which has been known to blur age lines, influenced her tastes from the start? Some fans certainly think so, especially as Moore would go on to date and marry men much younger than herself. Flash forward to the early 2000s, and Moore's relationship with Ashton Kutcher once again made headlines. Meeting at a casual dinner among friends, Moore and Kutcher's attraction was instant. But this time, the stakes were different. Moore was 40 and Kutcher was just 25. The age difference didn't go unnoticed by the media, and Moore's friends reportedly warned her about the potential backlash.
So shocked, unnerved, unsettled by a woman who is 15 years older.
Nevertheless, she chose to ignore their concerns, claiming that she had never been so happy in her life. She even described Kutcher as the answer to her prayers in her 2019 memoir, Inside Out. But fans today are taking a second look at this relationship, considering it as more than just a love story. Could Moore's involvement with a younger man have been influenced by Hollywood's infamous party culture? And was it a coincidence that they were often seen in the company of other A-listers, including those known for hosting wild gatherings? Fans recall that Moore and Kutcher once double-dated with none other than P. Diddy and his then-partner Kim Porter, two individuals deeply embedded in Hollywood's elite party scene. Some suggest that Moore's decision to keep such company was part of her attraction to a lifestyle that offered younger, vibrant energy, a lifestyle that might have introduced her to the same social circles that allegedly foster questionable behaviors. In 2005, Moore and Kutcher tied the knot in a ceremony described as unpretentious, surrounded by about 100 guests who were Hollywood A-listers in their Beverly Hills home.
What we do know is that there were only 100 people at the wedding, and I was not one of them. You always know if it's an A-list party in Hollywood. If you go to a big A-list party in Hollywood and I'm there, it's not really an A-list party.
Despite the love on display, the significant age gap between the two never faded from public consciousness. The press continued to focus on their age difference, and the couple found themselves in tabloids frequently. Moore's agents even warned her that dating Kutcher might make her appear less serious as an actress, but she brushed off these concerns. For Moore, the happiness Kutcher brought outweighed any judgment cast by the media. However, by 2011, cracks started to show. One day before their 6th wedding anniversary, Moore tweeted a cryptic quote from the philosopher Epictetus, hinting at deeper issues within their marriage. Shortly after, the couple announced their split, and the relationship ended officially in 2013. Kutcher eventually moved on to marry Mila Kunis, while Moore took time to focus on herself, though her dating pattern continued to raise questions among fans. Moore's next significant relationship was with Swiss chef Daniel Humm in 2022. Known for his acclaimed New York City restaurant, 11 Madison Park, Humm is notably younger than Moore, echoing the same age gap pattern seen in her previous relationships. The two made their romance Instagram official, with Moore sharing snapshots of their travels together. But once again, fans couldn't help but notice the 15-year age difference. Eerily similar to the age gap between Moore and Kutcher. The relationship didn't last long, but it fueled ongoing speculation that Moore has a strong attraction to younger men. This trend, some argue, hints at a connection to Hollywood's youthful, indulgent party culture, a scene Moore has been associated with over the years. This is where things take an interesting turn. Hollywood's elite circles, often shrouded in secrecy, have been known for fostering environments that welcome young and impressionable individuals. Names like Diddy have been at the forefront of discussions about these party scenes, with former associates and industry insiders suggesting that these gatherings aren't always as harmless as they appear. Some claim that these parties serve as a safe space for inappropriate dynamics, and recent allegations against stars in similar circles have further fueled concerns. Now, fans are questioning Moore's role in these gatherings. As you already know, she and Kutcher were once spotted with Diddy and Kim Porter on a double date, linking Moore to these elite social circles. In fact, fans online are beginning to wonder if Moore's frequenting of younger company isn't just a dating preference, but a deeper tie to Hollywood's party culture. Could Moore have been part of this scene longer than anyone realized, simply by dating younger partners who in turn connected her to youthful, vibrant circles? With whispers swirling around Hollywood about enablers who might have helped foster questionable environments, fans are watching Moore's next moves closely. Word on the street suggests that Moore might be more entangled in this scene than previously believed. Some argue that her series of age gap relationships might reflect a deeper pattern, one that aligns with Hollywood's alleged safe spaces for younger, impressionable individuals. But if there's one person who hasn't stayed silent about the hidden dark side of Hollywood, it's none other than Corey Feldman. Known for his work as a child actor in the 1980s, Feldman has since become a vocal advocate against the industry's secretive and often disturbing practices. For years, he's been speaking out, exposing what he calls a hidden network that preys on young talent, warning the public about what he believes lies beneath Hollywood's glamorous surface.
The story is about what's going on in Hollywood and the fact that there is an epidemic that's been there since the 20s and 30s of taking advantage of children and taking advantage of parents who are unaware of what's going on with their children. And, that plays out in all sorts of different ways, from feeding drugs to kids to making them get drunk and doing things that are inappropriate.
You see, Corey Feldman and his late friend Corey Haim began exposing the industry long ago, alleging that young actors were often taken advantage of behind the scenes. Their story began with a meteoric rise to fame. Known as the Two Coreys, Feldman and Haim were among the biggest teen stars of the 1980s, starring together in iconic films like The Lost Boys. They quickly became symbols of Hollywood's success, but beneath the glamour, both would later reveal a darker side to the industry that they say preyed on young talent.
Corey Haim, come here for a second. He's in the movie with me. This is Corey Haim. He was in Lost Boys. And he was in the movie License to Drive, which is coming out in August. And we're doing that movie together, too. Yep.
But behind the fame, Corey Haim was battling a silent nightmare. While Feldman managed to stay in the limelight, Haim's life was spiraling out of control. His struggles with substance abuse were well documented, but few knew the deeper demons that haunted him. According to Corey Feldman, these demons weren't just personal struggles. They were the result of Hollywood P-daters.
I can tell you that the number one problem in Hollywood was and is and always will be. That's the biggest problem for children in this industry.
In 2011, Corey Haim's life came to a tragic end. His death was ruled as pneumonia, but Feldman insists that Hollywood itself was responsible for orchestrating Haim's demise. Perhaps the most shocking allegation is when Feldman wrote about his own experience growing up as a young actor in 1980s Hollywood, and particularly about the essay both he and Corey Haim allegedly suffered as a result.
I'll go you one better. You let me get around in my life, man. Raped, so to speak.
In Corey Feldman's autobiography, Choreography, Feldman claimed that he had been M'd for years by older men working in the entertainment industry. He also wrote that Corey Haim approached him with similar stories early on in their friendship, and that this mutual trauma formed a strong bond between them. Feldman later spoke to People magazine about the A, but stated that he would not name names so as to protect Haim's mother from any more pain. There are people that did this to me and Corey that are still working, they're still out there, and they're some of the most rich and powerful people in this business. And they do not want what I'm saying right now. They want me dead, Feldman said. Feldman later released a documentary film titled My Truth, The R of Two Coreys, in which he further detailed the essay he and Haim allegedly faced. The documentary chronicled Feldman's long journey to shed light on the abuse he claimed child actors endured at the hands of the entertainment industry. Feldman also explained at the premiere that the film was his way of honoring a promise he made to his former co-star and late best friend Corey Haim to tell his story.
That's why I say media blackout, because all the mainstream media has prevented me from coming forth and talking about this story.
The documentary started where Haim's story tragically ended, with an audio recording of the 911 call his mother made after finding him unresponsive in their Los Angeles home in 2010. The release of My Truth coincided with the 10th anniversary of Haim's death. The 38-year-old actor was pronounced dead a few hours later, with the Los Angeles County Coroner's Office ruling his death as pneumonia, debunking earlier reports that he might have overdosed.
In watching everything that's happened today and the reports that have come out, the first thing I need to say is people need to stop.
From there, the film delved into the friendship between the two Coreys, as they were famously known, shifting between their rise as successful child actors and the strained relationship that developed when Haim suggested Feldman knew about the abuse he had suffered as a child, but did nothing to stop it. This tension was captured in an episode of The Two Coreys, a reality show that aired for 2 seasons on A&E before Haim's passing. For Feldman, that meant revealing the names of the men who, he alleged, abused the two best friends turned surrogate brothers as they navigated the intense spotlight of Hollywood in the late 80s and early 90s.
Nobody knows, and nobody's going to know. We all are aware of the fact that Corey Haim has had a long and detailed drug history.
Feldman has long spoken about the abuse he claimed both he and Haim endured as child actors. In an interview with Rolling Stone the previous year, Feldman accused 2 industry men of SAing him when he was 14 and hinted that a famous actor had SA'd Haim, though he stopped short of naming anyone.
I've been the guy trying to make him, stand up or say a complete sentence. I've been there with him through it many, many times, and it's happened very badly and very intensely.
In the documentary, however, Feldman finally broke his silence. In a scene that drew gasps from the audience at the premiere, Feldman named Charlie Sheen as Haim's alleged SAer, providing a detailed account that included disturbing references to Crisco being used as lubricant and 2 trailers that Feldman claimed concealed the SL act from public view. According to Feldman, the alleged occurred on the set of Lucas, a coming-of-age film where Sheen's character, Cappy, played a protector of sorts for Haim's character. The film, which also featured Winona Ryder and Courtney Thorne-Smith, was released in 1986. Haim was just 13 at the time of the alleged incident. It was unclear whether the potential legal ramifications that had previously kept Feldman from speaking out had been resolved or if he had simply decided to speak up despite the risks. After the initial reveal, Feldman didn't mention Sheen's name again, and Sheen wasn't interviewed or given a chance to make a statement in the film. However, when the National Enquirer first published the allegations in 2017, Sheen categorically denied them. Just hours after the premiere, Sheen publicly responded, "These sick, twisted, and outlandish allegations never occurred. Period," his spokesperson told The Wrap. "I would urge everyone to consider the source and read what his mother, Judy Haim, has to say." The allegations against Sheen were supported in the documentary by Feldman's ex-wife, Susie Sprague, who appeared on The Two Coreys, and Jameson Newlander, an actor who grew close to Feldman and Haim after co-starring with them in the 1987 film The Lost Boys. Both claimed that Haim had confided in them about the alleged SA, suggesting that it was common knowledge in Hollywood circles, but ultimately ignored.
But, it's a big part of our lives. And then we did the sequels, too, so it feels like Lost Boys is just always there.
Feldman had previously identified 3 other alleged abusers from his youth. He called out his former manager, Marty Weiss, for inappropriate behavior, and Alfie Hoffman, the proprietor of Alfie's Soda Pop Club, a sort of Soho house for kids that was popular in the late 1980s. Feldman also accused his former assistant, John Grissom, of misconduct during an appearance on the Dr. Oz show in 2017. Grissom, who had a brief acting career, appeared in the 1988 film License to Drive and 1989's Dream a Little Dream alongside Feldman and Haim. All 3 men were mentioned again in the film, along with Dominic Brascia, a bit actor who befriended Haim and Feldman in the 80s. Neither Grissom nor Hoffman commented on the allegations, and they weren't interviewed for My Truth. Weiss, meanwhile, had been actively defending himself on Twitter, accusing Feldman of changing his story while also revealing that he was a victim of child SA himself. Brascia didn't appear in the film either, though a clip from a Dr. Oz interview was shown where Judy Haim identified Brascia, not Sheen, as her son's offender in SA case. In the documentary, Feldman claimed that Judy Haim had been part of a deliberate effort to bury the truth about Sheen's involvement and to undermine Feldman's attempts to expose other abusers. In one particularly intense scene, Feldman accused Judy Haim of failing to protect her son. "It's your responsibility, Judy Haim, and not anyone else's," Feldman shouted, his body visibly tense. "So stop putting the blame on me." Judy Haim did not appear in My Truth, and it was unclear if she was asked to comment. She and Feldman had publicly clashed for years, with Judy repeatedly urging Feldman to stop spreading what she called lies and accusing him of fabricating the story to further his own career. Feldman's belief that Judy Haim was out to tarnish his reputation and possibly even threaten his life was one of the more perplexing aspects of the film. Alongside the film's director, Brian Hertzlinger, who also appeared in the documentary, Feldman delved into the antagonism between his fans, whom he affectionately called his Feld fam, and a group of detractors known as the Wolf Pack. Feldman labeled Judy Haim as the queen of the wolf pack, accusing her of actively fueling efforts to silence him through intimidation tactics and an online propaganda campaign. It was a theory Feldman had shared before, but the film went further, suggesting that the wolf pack's attempts to steamroll Feldman were actually harming victims of child SA and discouraging other victims from coming forward. My Truth cast Feldman as a whistleblower, drawing parallels between his activism and the efforts that exposed figures like Jerry Sandusky, Larry Nassar, and Jeffrey Epstein. Although Harvey Weinstein's name wasn't mentioned directly, director Brian Hertzlinger framed the film within the context of the #MeToo movement, implying that recent events had made it possible to bring Feldman's allegations into the spotlight. The hashtag they used to promote this narrative was #KidsToo.
Like, everything kept getting changed and edited. How are you going to get the truth out? Everybody kept saying, you got to get the truth out. You got to get the truth out. Fine.
However, this is not the only theory that's floating around. In 2017, Corey Haim's mother named the man she alleges SA'd her late son. During an appearance on the Dr. Oz show, Judy Haim addressed a National Enquirer report in which former actor Dominic Braccia, who was close with Haim, alleged that a 19-year-old Charlie Sheen SA'd a 13-year-old Haim on set of the 1986 film Lucas. A spokesperson for Sheen had previously told People the actor absolutely denied the claim, and Judy alleged that it wasn't Sheen who SA'd her son, but rather Braccia himself. "This guy Dominic is the guy that AB'd my son," she said. "My son said so." In her interview, Judy said Haim, who struggled with drug addiction for decades before dying of pneumonia at 38 in 2010, made reference to the alleged AB he suffered at the hands of Braccia on The Two Coreys, a reality show that chronicled his life with friend and fellow child star Corey Feldman.
Better. You let me get around in my life, man, raped, so to speak, when I was about 14 and a half, and I'm saying this right now.
Judy said Feldman introduced Haim to several people in Hollywood at the time, one of whom was Braccia. She claimed Braccia lived near them in Studio City, and that Haim and his friends would often visit Braccia's home to watch TV and play pool. Judy said that one day she received a call from Haim yelling and screaming that Braccia allegedly wouldn't get off of him. She rushed over to the apartment and alleged that when she walked in, she saw a fully dressed Braccia sitting on top of her son. "Dominic was sitting on my son, pinning him to the floor, not allowing him to move," she said. "I took a pool cue, and he will remember that, and I went so close to his head, and I said, 'You better get off of him, or I'm bashing your head in.' And he got off of him, and we left." Judy alleged that Haim had been SA'd by Braccia one other time in that apartment before, but she would not go into further detail. "The industry or the media, they always go and tend to blame a parent," she said. "You know what? You can watch them as much as you can watch them. But what are you going to do? Go out with a 16 or 17-year-old to every single party, to every single movie? It's the same thing on set. What if a producer wants to read lines in the trailer? It's a really tough situation. What are you going to do? My son went in with a whole bunch of boys to play pool, and one day, this is what happened to him." When asked why she thought her son never spoke out about his alleged abuse, Judy said, "He kept it secret for so long because he didn't want to talk about it. He didn't want people to think he was gay or say it was his fault," she said. "He said, 'Mom, somebody hurt me. I don't need to hurt them back. I need to take this to my grave.'" "The memory of the experience has to be horrifying," she said. "Then the guilt and the shame, and what are other people going to think? It's a horrible thing. Victims, you've got to talk nice about victims. We can say, go and speak up, go and tell your parent, go and tell your teacher, go and tell a social worker. But it's not easy." In any case, after Corey Haim's death in 2011, the official autopsy revealed that he died of pneumonia, with no drugs found in his system. But Feldman suggests that Haim's death was more than just a medical tragedy. It was part of a broader conspiracy to silence him. While Haim had a well-documented history of drug abuse, the clean toxicology report left many wondering how someone so young and seemingly healthy could succumb to such an illness. Feldman claims that Haim was under constant pressure from Hollywood figures and that his physical health deteriorated because of the emotional and psychological trauma he endured over the years. In any case, Feldman's revelations haven't gone unnoticed. While many praise his bravery, others in Hollywood have worked to discredit him, claiming that he's exaggerating or looking for attention. As the truth behind these high-profile events begins to unfold, one thing's clear: Hollywood's most glamorous parties may hide its darkest secrets. With Corey Feldman's revelations and Demi Moore's controversial past resurfacing, the question remains, just how deep does this scandal go? Anyway, that's it for this video, folks. Bye!